I didn't think I have to make this video because it's common sense, but I'm just going to make it anyway. I see a lot of people on the internet reacting and saying like, why is everybody so obsessed with Michael Jackson lately? Like, you guys, now you're starting to know him and stuff. First of all, let's make this clear. Michael Jackson should be known in every generation, in every dimension, in every lifetime. One. Number two, he even said, I believe it was him that said his fan base, his full fan base is not even born yet. So the people that are being introduced to him now, let them be introduced and let his legend and let him be alive. Let's keep his, what is that called? Let's just keep him alive as long as time is still moving, So the point is, and if you guys don't want to talk about, just drop it down below because I need to, now I'm trying to figure out what I'm trying to say. So another thing is that the reason why the world is addicted to him all over again, the new generation, the old generation, the older ones that were there were when we were kids, or the young, those people, is because one, the movie ignited and reminded everyone of Michael Jackson, who he was, and his legacy. Actually, that's the word I was looking for. Let his legacy live on forever, for eternity, right? But the point is that us children, we were too young to know exactly how much they were crucifying Michael Jackson. We were not aware of what, we knew what was going on, but we didn't know the extent of it. Because we were young, we were children. Remember, we're the age of the children of the people that he was trying to protect this whole freaking time. And now that we're older and we're starting to see it, and things are really coming out, because you have the internet, you have TikTok, you have YouTube, you have all these things that are exposing just how much they crucified him. That's why we feel with him now. Us being children, we did not know how deep it was. We saw the superficial, we saw what the TV showed us, or what our parents were talking about, but we didn't know the extent. And now that we have our own way of thinking, our own brain, and we can see, and there's so much more proof now of exactly how they treated this man. This man, they crucified this man from the day he was born. Not only was that was done to him by his own father, the person that's supposed to protect him and love him and give him everything he needed as a child. He also had his childhood stripped away. And we know that there's more layers. It's like this whole life of his was like an onion. It's not just the dad, as far as like hitting, we know that there's other things that happened along the way while he was a child in the industry that was not said. Not only that, then they started saying, because mind you that this man is the most famous man in the universe in every lifetime. And he's alongside Jesus Christ. And you can have your opinions about that, but it's the truth. No one will ever replace or have the same aura as Michael Jackson. Ever. So the point is that then they went after him and saying that he didn't like being his color and that he was whitening his stuff. Then they said that he was lying about the vitiligo. Not only people didn't know that he broke his nose on stage first, and then that's when the first rhinoplasty started because of that, and because he didn't like his nose already. So he said, might as well take the chance right now to change it up. If you didn't know that, look it up. It's real. Then they went after him for every single thing. And then they started with the accusations of him as well. And then they were making fun of him because his head burned. And then they went after him because of his being feminine and not being masculine enough. And then they were calling him, saying that he didn't like the opposite party of, the woman, I don't know what I can say on these damn channels without being, in trouble. So anyway, then they were saying that he was that. And then they said that he was attracted to younger things, and then things of the same thing. You know what I mean? And then they went after him for everybody he dated. And then they sat there and talked down to everyone that was that was dating him. Everyone that was dating him, anyone that was attracted to him, they made fun of him. They all made fun of him, and then they questioned his exes. Like, did they ask that Rose girl why she dated Marilyn Manson? No offense, because I like Marilyn Manson, I like Rose. But did they question them? Did they question half the people that dated everybody else? Let's not forget they also were saying how he was a big drug addict. And I mean, he did admit that he had like some type of like something where he was like a little bit too comfortable with, but they made it seem like he was full strung out on Skid Row. They went after every single thing that this guy talked about, every book that he dropped, every nose change that he had, because at some point when you saw that it was getting smaller and smaller, he was actually trying to fix it. He was trying to reverse and start to add on. He wasn't trying to make it smaller, but evidently, the nose only has so much cartilage, so it looked the way it did. And then they would make the videos and the pictures of him look worse than what he was. He didn't even look like that. They made him look crazy on pictures. But if you see him in person, he didn't even look that bad, which is insane. He never looked bad. He was gorgeous. He was angelic. This man was beautiful. What are you talking about? This poor man, and the reason why we're all grieving now, the new generation, the old generation, because the new generation is seeing that this legendary person, they're experiencing what we experienced when we were children and when we were their age, right? And now they feel what we feel. They feel what our parents feel, and why everybody loved MJ in the first place, and why he was one of the most critical, most beautiful, most angelic people on this planet, and most powerful as far as like aura wise, right? And so now, and the generation that watched him growing up, such as ourselves, we're all grieving with him, because we see now with everything putting it together, not just because of the movie, because everything is finally coming out and people are speaking up. And the ones that did speak up before, we're finding their videos, we're finding the interviews, we're seeing we're hearing it, and we're grieving with it, because he did not deserve any of that. He did not deserve any of that. And they mistreated this man his whole freaking life. And it's just heartbreaking to know that he's not even here any longer, for the world that doubted him, for the world to apologize to him, and for his so-called friends and ex-girlfriends, all of you that sat there and made it seem like you were ashamed to be with him. Shame on you. You're lucky he even freaking breathed the same air you breathe, because let's be real, he could have done a lot better. He could have done 1,000,000 times better. He could have had whoever he wanted. And the fact that he even liked you or was in love with you, you should be flattered for the rest of your life and your children's lives and their lives and their lives. They should all be flattered that he even looked in your direction. Debbie, she's a real one. The rest, I don't know. I don't know what to say about the rest, because they sat there and act like they were embarrassed. Like they were embarrassed to admit that was their man. And when they would get questioned, you didn't stick up for him enough for me. I'm sorry, you did not. They did not stick up enough for him. His friends, his ex-girlfriends, his female friends. Elizabeth Taylor, yes. Shout out to her. She was a real one too. The rest of you? Anyways. Yeah. So that's why we're all grieving over Michael Jackson. And on behalf of the sorry world, we're sorry. I'm sorry for everything that happened to you. And even though I knew you were always 100% innocent, I'm just going to say, on behalf of the world, I'm going to apologize for them. We're sorry. And we wish you were able to be here to hear and see how much of an impact you have created in the world today, and how you've always had an impact. And we miss you. And we hope that you're watching this and watching everyone and seeing the movement that you've caused all over again, and how much the world loves you. And we thank you.